In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a bold Fauvism style landscape inspired by the work of Jean Metzinger. First, I'll share a little background on Metzinger's life, his artwork, and the Fauvism art movement, and then we'll jump right into the tutorial to make our own vibrant masterpieces. Jean Metzinger was a French painter who helped shape the daring new art of the early 1900s. He began his career as part of Fauvism, a movement whose name comes from the French word fauve, meaning wild beasts. The Fauves shocked the art world by using explosive colors, simplified shapes, and expressive brushwork to capture emotion rather than realistic detail. Metzinger's vibrant landscapes and portraits showed how color itself could carry feeling and meaning. Though he later became a leader in Cubism, his Fauvism work helped pave the way for modern art by proving that artists could break free from tradition and let bold color and imagination take center stage. The Fauves, including Metzinger, Henri Matisse, and André Durand, opened the door to a century of experimentation and freedom in art. I'm starting off by taping my paper down, but this part is optional. I'm using white, a touch of yellow, a drop of brown and green acrylic paint to mix a light, earthy lime green for the background. I'm using a 1-inch flat brush to spread this color onto my paper. Notice that I'm dipping my brush in water and adding this water to the paint. This helps the paint to blend more smoothly onto the paper. Keep adding paint and keep dipping your brush in water until you have covered the paper with color. I'm mixing in a bit of brown to make my background look a bit more like the original painting, but you can totally skip this part. You don't even have to do a background if you don't want to, but if you do, I recommend letting it dry before you start drawing the composition on top. Now that the background is dry, I'm using this template I made to draw the basic shapes of the composition onto my paper. If you want to skip painting the background, just draw this composition right onto your paper. These lines will guide me as I make my painting. Before painting, I'm using a 1/2-inch flat brush to practice making some rectangular shaped brush strokes on this scratch paper. I recommend practicing these brush strokes before you start painting. Watch how I add white to one edge of my paintbrush to make a streak with white and yellow. In this way, you can let the colors blend right on your paper. Now I'm going to add these same brush strokes onto my painting. I'm using my 1/2-inch flat brush to make rectangular shapes. To make smaller rectangles, I'm using this 1/4-inch flat brush. You could alternate back and forth with different sized brushes and brush strokes. Just be sure to use a flat brush so that you can make this rectangle shape. To switch colors, I recommend grabbing a paper towel, pinch your brush inside and gently windshield wiper it back and forth. Dip your brush in water and repeat. Do this a couple of times in order to remove paint from your brush. This prevents paint from going into your water cup and getting washed down the drain. Now I'm grabbing a little bit of red to make a gold color and adding some more rectangle shapes to my painting. I'm using gold squarish shapes for this bridge. I'm using a mixture of yellow with a tiny bit of red, then adding some more yellow and gold rectangles over here. I'm trying to pick one color at a time to fill in my painting because this is a lot easier than switching back and forth between multiple different colors. Now I'm adding some white with a touch of pink and adding some more rectangles. I find that the smaller 1/4-inch brush works best for this. And now for some brighter pink down here. Okay, believe it or not, I somehow stopped filming right here and I didn't realize it until I was finished with my painting. So this is my new painting that I restarted for this video. I'm continuing to add different colors of pink rectangles into my painting. I'm adding a bit of white to my brush and allowing the pink and white to blend as I add them to the paper. Now for a bit of purple and some more pink and a little blue. Notice how some of my rectangles overlap and go in different directions. Now that I've got the blue out, I'm trying to fill in the other areas of my painting that also need blue. I'm using dark green to create this arched shape in the middle. I think it might actually be a tree. And now just finding a few other areas that call for green. Notice how I'm adding yellow to my brush and letting the yellow and green mix together as I add these colors to the painting. Now going back and adding in a bit more yellow to these rectangles, adding some more yellowish green and a little bit of brown, a bit more pink, and some blue. If you use tape, carefully remove it when you're done. If the paper starts to tear, stop and pull the tape from the other direction. Here are my two paintings side by side. Let me know in the comments below if you try this project. Next up, you're going to love watching this video I made that shows you how to paint a beautiful and easy pointillist landscape, so be sure to check it out.